The RAD Podcast is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Paul, the Hat Guy Flinders, and welcome to this new podcast, the RAD Podcast, Random Ass Discussion. And joining me tonight are my two co-hosts, Alan Morrison.
Hello.
And Darren Truby.
Hello.
How are you guys? How's your week's been so far? Well, week so far, we're on Tuesday, so not far
busy.
into it. Yes.
Baby scan today. Last one before it's due.
Been there.
So,
It's
apart from that, just work.
yeah, it's that period, the last scan, it's a mixture of, oh my god, I'm super excited, I'm going to have a mini-me running around, and then it's going to be literally changes within a split second to, holy fuck, I have responsibilities.
But I already got two responsibilities.
But it's your own responsibility this time, though. You know what I mean? It's your own DNA. Alan's a stepfather, and a bloody good stepfather at that, to two kids. So he's already got a bit of practice, shall we say?
True story.
Anyway, good luck to you, mate. Anyway, so, knowing from experience, you'll need it.
I won't. I'll be ready.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You've had a bit of practice already. Hey, Darren, how's your week been so far?
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been okay. Apart from the fact that I got up late today and should have got WWE 2K17 and I have to wait a whole 2 days now to get it.
Oh, single people problems.
I know. I know.
Sometimes I envy you. I really do.
Can I just say, at night when I go to sleep, I sleep a whole 10 hours in a nice double bed all on my own. Oh, it's lovely.
Alan, should we start a new podcast called the Disgruntled Fathers Podcast? Oh,
We want our freedom back.
Seriously, we do not. Well, seriously, Alan, we don't know what a full night's rest feels like anymore. I mean, Ruby, bless her.
I last night. It was good.
Yeah, there's obviously the good side. It's probably for me, it's the only downside is my youngest one at the minute. She's just like 13 months old, and without fail, every night it's 2 times, at least 2 times, and it's always guaranteed to be like 1 in the morning, then 4 in the morning. Once you're up at 4, that's it. You don't properly sleep again. So, your sleep pattern's completely fucked.
Same amount. I'm going to talk about this because this is quite funny. Not last night, night before. Couldn't really get to sleep. It was about 2, 3 o'clock. I finally got to sleep. About 4:15 in the morning. Wife woke me up in sheer terror. I was like, what's wrong? I think the waters are broken. So I'm there going, oh shit. Anyway, what it was, the cat pissed on her leg.
Your cat is awesome, by the way.
Yeah. So it was just basically, right, okay, fair enough. So I'd strip the bed, sort it all out. Well, at that point, it was like, fuck it, I'm wide awake now. Anyway, so of course, I'm doing a full shift in the kitchens because I work behind the bar, same as Darren. So I was doing a full shift in the kitchens. So it was just like, brilliant. I'm going in there half asleep, completely, absolutely knackered. Right? No idea about how to work this kitchen. So this was all new to me, this experience and everything. So I was just there going, you know what, I don't really need this. So luckily, energy drinks is your friend.
It is. Bull spunk is always fun.
A bit of touring.
Yes, why not?
So what's happened in the news anyway today?
There's been quite a bit of little random snippets of news. I've picked, I've kind of got my little tweezers out and picked out a few little things, but there's one story that's really kind of, what can I say, kind of rubbed me the wrong way this afternoon when I read it. I was in the car, and I was just, looking on my phone. Funny enough,
he was not driving.
I was not driving. No, my better half was at the wheel, and
she's not listening, right?
Oh, she might do. I might do. I've got to be nice. Be nice.
Probably your better half.
You've never met her. Neither's Alan. Funny enough.
I waved at her.
You waved at her? Yeah, you never met. You've only met one of my other halves, and yeah.
Well, I met the last other half, and look how that turned out.
Well,
so I don't think it would be a good idea for that to happen.
No, you scare people away. You scare people. But yeah, I was looking on my phone, and I just saw this, and it came on the news, on the radio, funny enough, at the same time. Apparently there was a fire up on North Shore in Blackpool. Obviously, Blackpool's where we all live. And there was a fire, and just after midnight the other night, and 2 kids were pulled out from.
Oh yeah, it was the toddler and the baby, wasn't it?
Yes, there was a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old girl got pulled out of this fire. The girl had cuts on her hands and her feet and everything. I'm assuming because the 2 girls actually got the kids out. They put the window through. They put a ladder up and put the window through before the emergency services got there. Now they found out that the cause of the fire was a chip pan. midnight, and they were home alone.
Yeah,
says everything really.
Well, this is as a parent, and this is why it links into the conversation that we've just had. Is as a parent, why would you leave your kids, full stop, at that age on their own? Never mind leaving a fucking chip pan on and go out after midnight and leave them on their own. What?
This is why the human society needs a culling.
Certain sectors of the human society needs a culling.
It's mind-boggling. It really is. Now, my eldest is 13. My youngest is 8 at the moment. My eldest, I'll leave him in the house for an hour or 2, but he's got his phone. He's not stupid. Says he's not going to go and muck around and stick his hand in a plug socket or anything like that. That's fair enough. That's fine. But I would not trust my daughter to be on her own. Right? 'Cause she's 8 years old. So it's like, right, fair enough. But you've got to fight. A lot of this is the arguments at school once, because it's school playgrounds and that, all over the place. When is it right to leave a child on his own?
Well, this is it. I've actually got the story on my phone now as I'm looking at it. Do you want me to quickly read it through?
Yeah, go for it.
It says, and this is just for to give credit where credit's due. It's in the Blackpool Gazette. Reading it via the website, and it says a toddler and baby were home alone when a fire broke out. It has emerged. The youngsters, a girl aged 2 and a boy aged 1, who had to be rescued after a chip pan in their kitchen went up in flames shortly after midnight on Saturday. Residents in St Anthony's Place, close to Out Talbot Road in Blackpool, pitched a ladder up against a bedroom window before smashing it and pulling the girl to safety, while the baby was also carried from the terraced house. The pair were taken to Blackpool Victoria Hospital for checkups and treatment. Both had inhaled smoke, while a girl had also cut her fingers on one of her feet. 2 adults understood to be the children's rescuers were also given checkups. Police have now launched an investigation into the incident, which no arrests have been made yesterday. Officers are keen to know why the children were on their own and how long they've been left for, and they expected to question their mother. Firefighters were called to the house at 12:05 a.m. with crews from both Blackpool and Bispham attending. So that's a fucking big fire of 2 appliances.
Not only that, not only that, they have been arrested. They were arrested earlier on this evening.
Oh, that's good. Because so the initial 999 call reported police outside the house, although everyone was out in time before the firefighters got there. They spent an hour at the scene with the blaze causing some fire and smoke damage. Now this is why I wanted to get into the story, because what the point you made about when can you leave a child and when can't you? It says, and I quote, "The law doesn't say an age when one can leave a child on their own, but is an offence to leave a child alone if it places them at risk." So that is a proper wishy-washy grey area. When is a child at risk? Potentially, as soon as you leave them on their own, they're at risk. In my opinion.
I've said from the start that you've got to know your child. If your child is independent enough and can be trusted and has the common sense that he can be left alone, then that's fine. But at the same time, you've got to think, my child's independent, he does everything by himself. He can be 6 years old, or she, right? That's just stupid. But when it comes towards the latter end of primary school or start of high school, that is the perfect time to do it, because it gives him that essence of independence
and trust,
and it gives them the confidence to go, hang on a minute, in 6-7 years' time, I'm going to be moving out in a minute, going to university or starting a job elsewhere. So it gives them the knock-on effect of going, right, okay, so I start now. Parents prove that I'm capable of being on my own and all this stuff. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to say from my experience being a child, I was left alone from the ages of 10. Generally because back when we were young, it's the thing you did.
It was a dumb thing. I was exactly the same as you. Yeah. But at the same time, this is a point that I wanted to get into, was some children at certain ages, say for example, some 10-year-olds, aren't mentally as mature as some 8-year-olds. So it's all dependent on a child's mental, where they are mentally. Some kids might be capable of. I mean, I was 8-year-old. I was capable of doing the dishes and hoovering up, and things like that. I was capable of doing that at 8 years of age. But another child of that age may not be able to do that, or be trusted to be able to do that.
Exactly.
So,
but with everything that's happening at the moment with branding your child. With ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, other forms of, I'm not going to say mental illness, but other forms of mental deficiency. That's a good word, deficiency for it.
That's a big word for this podcast.
I know, it's a big word for me. You've got to find the balance. Now, my next door neighbour, she has a child, age 9, with ADHD. I wouldn't trust him at all.
But this is what I mean. It's about mental awareness of what they're capable of, what their mental level is, as in development. Because, like I say, a child may be older, but they may not be mentally as developed as somebody who's younger than them.
Yeah, it's just like my youngest daughter. She'll go to the shop for me, which is just literally 30 seconds around the corner. She'll quietly go and get herself some sweets. She'll get herself a drink. She knows how to cross the road. She knows not to talk to strangers. She knows, I actually know the guys who work in the shop as well, so if there's any problems, they'll give me a call or anything like that. That's building the trust, building the independence. Now, if you said the same thing to the next door neighbour's child, he'll go off and do whatever the fuck he wants.
Exactly.
He'll go to a shop. He's known as a shoplifter because spare of the moment things. You think, oh, that's cool, I'll do that.
I'm at this moment in time. Like I said, my eldest he's 2 months away from 3 years old, and we're starting to trust him now. Obviously not in a busy area like on a road or something like that. On the side of the pavement or something like that, but places like parks or in shops, we're starting to let go of the reins and trust him to follow us and be near us, and he's doing that really well. Now, bearing in mind, he's only just, nearly 3. for me, I'm not a massive expert on infant mentality. My partner is, because she used to do that for a living. She was a nursery nurse in a support centre for children.
Now, I've got a perfect example here. Right. My niece on my side, my sister's daughter, and my niece on my wife's side, her sister's daughter. Now, there's 2 months apart, age-wise, right? My sister's daughter is younger, but has a more mature personality than my wife's sister's daughter. She can speak, she can talk, she will obey your command. I won't say obey your commands, but if you tell her no, don't do that, she'll go sorry, and that's it. Whereas my wife's niece, I'd be better saying it that way, won't, because she's immature. She's still thinks baby.
Yeah.
So when you say no, don't do that, put that down, she'll go no and walk
kick and scream. Yeah.
Whereas my niece is different. It's all about how the person's growing up and how people interact and how the environment that he or she lives in. Now, if you sit in there and you're making, there's this one child, she's your only child, you're going to baby the shit out of that person.
Yeah, if you've got one, if it's a child, you tend to. Well, perfect example. I'm not going to mention names, but we've just got an SGO order on a child, as you two both know, which is basically similar to adopting. Yep. Except you still give them contact to the natural parents.
Yeah.
Now, this girl that we've adopted, sort of SGO sort of thing, she's been an only child up until moving in with us, and obviously she's now got to live with 2 other children. She doesn't appreciate things that she's got. Like, for example, yesterday we went through a lot of things in her room, and there was stuff in there that she wanted to throw out, and it wasn't even, the seal wasn't even broken. But she's used to people throwing things at her, and she doesn't appreciate things. It's all about how this is where I was getting at, is how kids are brought up, and that can also explain why certain children are certain ways. Like, for example, if you credit to yourself and to Lucy and her upbringing, and to your daughter herself, that the fact that she can go over to the shop, cross over, not talk to strangers, this, that, and the other. You there, Alan?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, Darren's gone. It's just like I say, it's a credit to yourself and to, you know what I mean? But in the case of the story, I'm going to bring it back to the story because I want to move on. What happens? Anyway, Darren's disappeared from the thing, but we'll carry on. Because part of this podcast, here he's coming back. Part of this podcast is I want this podcast to be as unedited as possible. So obviously, all the fuck ups and things like that are going to be in, including Darren dropping out of conversation. But bringing it back,
I think he's lost his internet connection.
Possibly. If we're getting back, we'll get him back. But part of this for me was I put myself in. When I hear stories like this about the children being in fires or stuff like that, bad stuff happening to kids, and you'll do this yourself, Alan, more than likely. Yeah. You imagine, what if my child was in that situation? And you relate to stuff like that. I mean, when I was younger, and I heard stories about kids, bad stuff happening to kids, this might sound cold, but I didn't even give a flying fuck. I didn't bat an eyelid, fuck all. But I didn't.
We'll move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. But I didn't bat a fucking eyelid, and now because I've had kids, I can't help but relate. Darren's saying his headset's broken, so he will have to leave.
Oh, fair enough.
So, but yeah, okay, well, that's fine. We're having a good enough conversation between ourselves anyway. So, but yeah, I relate to it that way, and it's one of them. I always relate the fact that I put my kids in that situation how I would feel. So in that respect, when I say that a parent has fucked off out the house with a fucking chip pan on, might I add, with a fucking chip pan, and left the two kids in bed on their own and fuck like I say, how I couldn't even dare to even think about doing that.
Yeah,
I couldn't dare. I wouldn't even fucking think about that. I mean, when is a child vulnerable? When you're not there.
Yeah.
So why, if the most important person in the world, why would you not want to be there unless you have somebody there that you can trust and know they're going to be safe?
Yeah, true story.
You know, they've decided to put webcams on, and I'm scared. Yes, Alan's just showing me how many brain cells he's got. But yeah, so on that, I personally would not be shocked if these parents have a good look at from social services. I really hope they do, because there's no way a child should be in that situation. That's my opinion on it. Controversial or not, they should have at least their parenting looked at, because you should not be leaving a child at gone midnight on their own, asleep or not asleep, with a fucking chip pan on. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And on a related note, because it's obviously from the Gazette, did you see this before on Facebook, anyone, about...
Comment on this.
about do not comment on this for legal reasons. Don't put the fucking thing on Facebook, then.
Right, I'll tell you what it is. Right, Blackpool man has been arrested and charged for the alleged rapings of 3 women, is it?
I think it was 3. 3.
3 women. He denies sleeping with anyone until the evidence was thrown in his face and gone, this says otherwise. And he says, all right, I had sex with him, but I didn't rape him. And basically the court proceedings are carrying on through. So it's like, what's going on?
Well, if that's the case, if you don't have the full story, don't post the damn thing, or you can get done for liable.
Although, I highly recommend... that you read through the comments that were posted, because some of them
I will need to.
Ridiculously funny. I
saw some of the comments on it. I mean, when I looked, it was up to 70 comments. Please do not comment on this. It's probably the most comments Blackpool Gazette have ever had on a post in 10 years.
Guess what? I commented.
I can imagine.
Right,
you tell me not to do something and I'm going to do it.
The first one on there is brilliant by far. Everybody stop commenting for legal reasons and stuff. P.S. Does anyone want to buy a Hoover?
That just shows up. That's just Blackpool in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
You tell us to do something, we ain't fucking doing it.
Another one. Why post this on Facebook? Oh, the irony.
Yeah. If you don't want someone to talk about it, don't put it on fucking social media. Simple as that. Oh dear me! But yeah, you gotta love the Gazette.
There's quite a few memes as well knocking round.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Harambe, whatever the hell he's called. Harambe, M9.
Yeah, cocks out for Harambe.
Hashtag
have you seen anything about the? Well, obviously you must have done, because you got a pair of eyes and a set of ears about the killer clown. Sort of phenomenon that's been going on.
Yeah. Now, I actually know how it all started. Everyone's going on, oh no, how did it all start? How did it all come about and everything? Right. There's a new horror movie coming out called Clown.
There would be something. There's a remake of it as well being made.
Yeah, but it's not to do with this. It's from Clown. Now, as a thing, they sent out... Yeah, they sent out like a couple of people to do like publicity stunts.
Oh yeah,
And stupid.
yeah, and people thought, oh, I'll copy that, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown.
Yeah, so people, it's just copied. Of course, it's turned into a mass craze. There's loads all over the place. It's now heading up towards this end of the country in the northwest.
Yeah.
But the best one I've seen so far, right, she's absolute genius. I think it's down next to Exeter somewhere. Clown appeared outside a primary school on closing. What was it? School finishing. So everyone's on the school run to pick it up. Clown on the corner of the street, he's holding a balloon, and he's in the full clown outfit. About a dozen teenagers walk past. Of course, they've just finished school as well. Parents are all sitting there going, getting quite worried and upset, and they're rushing everyone off because, some people aren't exactly what we could say happy to see a clown, So they went over and then jumped him.
Hello? I don't know what happened there. It's still recording. So, because I did say I was going to keep all the fuck-ups in, but oh well.
How far was I?
You're talking about some group of teenagers jumping the clown.
Yeah, they jumped the clown, screaming out. It says, how dare you do this in front of the school, you paedophile, and a lot of other swear words. Now, I don't condone violence of any type. End of the day, he shouldn't do it. But at the same time, he deserved every little bit got going to him. You don't do that outside of school.
No, I mean, have you seen the? There was a. I don't know if it was Instagram or. I don't know if it was Insta. Oh, it's. Sorry, Alan, you there, mate?
Yeah, stop pushing buttons.
Darren's trying to get in the fucking thing again.
Right,
I'll add him. It's all right. Get it done. Add to call. If he drops it now, he's out. Let's try that.
Huzzah!
Let's try that.
Right, what about now?
We are back now. No one mess with anything. If anyone drops, that's it. They're done. Because that's all still recording.
Right, Darren, we were saying about the clowns, mass hysteria that's going on about it. Yeah. Just spoke about a couple of guys getting... a guy got jumped outside of a primary school, blah-de-da-de-da, by a bunch of kids. Teenagers come from high school. We were just saying about the mass hysteria about everything. Paul was ranting about something.
I was just about to say about a kid. There was, I think it was Instagram or Tumblr or something like that. There was a whole group of posts about them threatening about targeting specific schools in, I think it was Essex. And it was actually it was on social media about it, and then all of a sudden it went private. But it was actually set for tomorrow, which would be Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if anything happens to that. But I personally think it's getting fucking out of hand. I mean, it's one thing to go and try and scare adults with it, but then when you're targeting children, you can actually seriously psychologically damage somebody. If it's a child, you can seriously psychologically hurt them. And it's not on. And if someone tried to do that to Rico, my son, he would. They wouldn't be able to use teeth anymore.
Well, I've been reading all these reports about killer clown sightings and everything like that. I mean, I'm quite pissed off because I was like, oh, Halloween. What should I dress up for this year? Someone said, oh, you should be a clown, Darren, or Jester. And I'm like, no way I'm going to dress up now. Not like a scary clown, but like...
It's just, me and Darren work behind the bars, and I'm assuming Darren's got like a Halloween night coming up as well, same as us. And some dozy arse at work decided to do a circus horror theme night. Brilliant! Hey, I know. I'll jump on my motorbike, right, in full clown gear. That'll go down the house on fire.
Right.
Although
the off on those little micro.
Have you seen the mobility scooter?
Yeah.
Everyone.
I'm here, mate. I'm here. I think everyone was trying to talk at once.
Yeah, this is the mobility scooter a video that's been knocking around. Guy's going around, it must be like a town centre from somewhere, and he's in a full clown outfit on a mobility scooter.
Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
Well, were you in the wrong mode of transport? Anyway, don't clowns have little cars and have about 200 people in them?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Right. Apparently, some real in North Wales, the police have stopped a clown, and he was an actual wanted man.
That was his fucking god. He's come out robbing a bank. He was dressed as a clown.
That's a massive fuck up on their part, to be honest. But I know what would draw attention to me, even though I'm wanted. Oh, going dressed as a clown.
Probably the only time round now would be you'd be more inconspicuous if you wore a fucking horse mask.
Dressed as a zombie, that'll freak him out.
Fucking zombie clown.
No,
they're moving up. There's actually been
reports in Preston.
Yeah, I was going to say Blackpool Road.
Yeah.
Oh. Where by the way, just for the record, where Stephen Flooder kind of resides around. So I wonder if Stephen Flooder's been dressing up as a clown.
Carrying machetes and shit.
Can you imagine Chris Masters dressed up as a clown? That is fucking scary.
Gee, I wonder what Martin Kirby's going to be dressed up as on a Halloween show.
A carrier bag.
Oh, I can't wait. I want to go, but...
I'm having to give that one a miss.
I may be going, I don't know yet. All depends on if Baby is here.
Just for the record of people who don't know, we are talking about Preston City Wrestling in Preston. The Halloween show. Is it the 27th this year?
It is the 27th, yep.
Yeah, I can't go. But yeah, us three, we are big wrestling fans. We did used to do a podcast exclusively for wrestling called WrestleBox, but we stopped doing it we just stopped doing it because we wanted a format where we could basically speak about more than wrestling. But obviously there will be the odd generous spattering of wrestling here and there in this podcast, at which point we may as well carry on.
Talking about Halloween, you could just talk about Halloween in a Halloween costume. I've just been on searching in it, and there's apparently a Kim Kardashian Halloween gunpoint costume. That it's a long black wig, black sunglasses, fake 4 million engagement ring, and you have like a gag round your mouth. $70. $70. I don't know how much that is in English money, but seriously,
that's about 55.
But it's about 55 quid.
Yeah,
roughly. Have you seen the masks that I can only describe as his and hers?
Yeah, they were good.
The vagina one,
the vagina and cock masks.
Yes, I have seen them. Yes,
you
did ask me to, model the cock mask, but apparently having the 10-inch one on your head is not very nice.
Oh dear me. Oh, could you imagine trick-or-treating with your girlfriend?
There's like a euphemism, trick-or-treating.
Yeah, put a little cowboy hat on the top.
You leave... cowboy. You be a cowboy for New Year's Eve.
That's just me normal.
Now.
Being a cowboy, that's just me being in regular regalia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh dear me. But yeah, we were just before we came on air, we were talking about how we've not watched wrestling for a while. The pay-per-view. I've watched Raw. I say I watched Monday Night Raw. I fast forward through Monday Night Raw, and kind of watched SmackDown. What about you guys? So have you kept up to date with it? I've not watched any pay-per-views. I've missed the last 3, if I'm brutally honest. I've not even watched SummerSlam.
No, I've just generally lost all interest at the moment. There's nothing happening.
This is it. I'm sorry to say as well, but I'm also losing interest in PCW at the minute. I am.
Why?
I'm losing. I'm. It's not. It's not a PCW sort of thing issue that I've got. It's a wrestling in general kind of issue. I went through a similar phase a couple of years ago, and I came back into it, and I'm sure I will do again. But I think it's because I've not been to as many events this year.
Yeah.
I think I've only been to Evoke twice this year, maybe 3 times tops. But obviously, I'm going to make up for that in November when I've got four shows in a week.
Yeah, we're going to the Manchester one. And
the Manchester PCW versus CZW Battleground, isn't it? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Combat Ground or something like that.
I think it's Warzone.
That's it, Warzone. Yeah, we're going to... Yeah, Alan, the CZW is coming to PCW.
Oh, fair enough.
And then there's the Super Show.
Yeah, this is the Super Show, which has got WXW Germany and Beyond Wrestling, as well as CZW. And they're doing 2 tournaments, Cruiserweight Tournament and the Heavyweight Tournament. And I'll tell you something, Darren, it's going to be a fucking pain in the arse to mark that for the Prediction League. But yeah, I'll get on with it. I do. I help run a Prediction League for this promotion, and I'd say it's fairly successful. It's getting there. It's got 44 members at the minute, 21 regular players, and now they have trophies. I don't know if you've seen, Alan.
No.
They've actually got a proper trophy now for the winner of the Prediction League. It's about 14 inch tall.
Yeah, I bet you say that to all the boys.
Well,
hey.
I'd just be downplaying myself if I did that. My arm's not quite that long. Well, longer than that. But yeah, we'll move on from wrestling because I like, as much as I like wrestling, I don't want to dwell on it on this podcast too much. Here's a controversial one. I said I also wanted to be controversial. How about Brexit? What are your opinions on Brexit?
To be honest, I don't give a shit. It is, end of the day, it has no effect on us. All right? We're still going to be trading, but we'll be trading in the free market. All right? We'll still have our jobs. We'll still have our currency. We'll still have everything else, even if we're in or out. The only difference is we're not sitting there going, oh, here's a couple of 100 million going into the European Union.
Yeah, that's the way I see it as well.
Still, everyone goes, oh, what about our defence, as in military? He goes, we'll still be sharing carriers with France. We'll still have the same tank battalions we do normally do.
Well, this is Germany. It. NATO doesn't suddenly disappear. We're still a member of NATO. We're just not part of a trade union.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's just like if one of us was a part of Unison and we decided to leave.
Yeah, it's just sitting there to be like, right, whatever.
The way I see it is, I think it's good for British Labour. Reason I say that is I am for immigration. I am for people coming in and enriching our culture.
Yeah.
But when there's people that want jobs, there's stacking shelf jobs, there's unskilled jobs that I call it, stuff like jockeying a till. Things that we do, let's be honest, things that we do, they're not highly skilled jobs. There's a knack to them, don't get me wrong, but there's not. Yeah. It's not a job where you could go for a week and practice it, and you wouldn't be half decent at it. You try and do that to be a doctor, you can't do it. You know what I mean? Now, things that have got highly skilled, highly centered sort of like skills, like specific skills that require a lot of training. If we don't have the skills here in this country, I don't see a problem with getting someone who wants to come here from another country to come and do that job if we don't have somebody here that's not capable of doing it.
Yeah.
But if there's people out there that's got an untrained labour market that we have here, which we've got a surplus of, people who want to get a job, who can't, why not offer them the jobs first? And then when you've got a job surplus, then outsource it. And with what I feel, when we've had this, now we're out of Brexit. We're coming into this Brexit is happening. We're coming out of the European Union. We have that free flow of immigration, which will stop eventually, and you'll have sort of similar to like a point system, whereas we will get the skills coming in that we need, what we don't have already here. Does that make sense?
Canada do that?
Yeah, exactly. That's my opinion on it. Like I say, I'm not against people coming into this country and, providing, enriching our culture with theirs, and and amalgamating it to to improve each other.
Yeah,
I'm not xenophobic.
What's anything to do about aliens?
Wait. I know this one. Do you really think, right, if aliens came down to Earth and they actually looked at what movies we heard, would you not think it's very bad to see that they've got a movie called Alien?
They probably think,
that's so good.
They probably think we're racist because the aliens never win.
No, it's
They don't.
I can name at least a handful of films that aliens do win. So, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But name them. All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
V, Aliens 1. Skyline, Aliens 1 there.
Okay.
Critters, Aliens 1 there.
Yeah.
I'm trying,
Wow, it's harder
I
than you think.
can picture it. The Day the Earth Stood Still,
Oh yeah.
Aliens 1 there. Because basically it came down, went, we don't like what you're doing on your planet, get your shit sorted out, or we'll blow up your planet. They went, oh fuck it, we'll blow up your planet.
Is that the Keanu Reeves one? And
That's the remake of the 1957 one.
Yeah.
I was going to say War of the Worlds, but no.
War of the Worlds, they died of a cold.
No, the cold one.
Yeah, the cold one. The humans didn't win, fucking germs did.
Yeah, exactly. There's quite a few knocking rounds. You got to think like that. But at the end of the day, if the aliens turn up, looked at our planet and went, fuck that shit, they'll turn around and go elsewhere.
I think most people do that nowadays when they look at Blackpool, don't they? They get off the M55, say, oh, fuck this shit, wind your windows up, we're going back.
Style.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to the original thing, I do think eventually this Brexit will be beneficial to us, but we will, because there's a lot of pessimism about it, I think there's going to be a short period of pain. So we'll get a little bit of short-term pain, but I think we will get long-term gain. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going away next year.
Thank God.
To Spain. And so I've been checking up on the
exchange rates.
The exchange rate. And the exchange rate at the moment is horrible. It was like, I think today was like 1.8 or 1.9 or something like that. And that's like really bad. It was the same as for the dollar as well. It just,
the thing is, when the pessimism goes, though, that'll come back to us again.
Yeah. Because
when people realize, hang on a minute, we can still fucking trade with them. We can still do this. We can still do that. We'll just have to do our own separate deals. The fact of the matter is Mercedes-Benz going to go, oh, fuck, we don't want to deal with the British, even though they're one of their biggest fucking markets in the world? Do you know what I mean? They're not stupid enough to let them deals down. Things like that, they're going to keep dealing with us. This is why I don't get the pessimism, because people aren't just going to go, oh no, they're all of a sudden, you have to keep us at arm's length if you don't want to deal with us. Not true. Our cash is just as good as anyone else's, and it always will be, regardless of whether we're part of the EU or not.
At the end of the day, you got China who's sitting there going, shit, we'll trade with you.
Yeah,
China. The US going, yeah, we'll trade with you.
But China at the minute are the honey badger of the financial world.
Not anymore, they're not.
Well,
India.
they were, but
India.
Or India as well. There's India, and it was China, but India's having their industrial revolution right now. I mean, look at Tata, huge company. I mean, they own. I think they own Lotus now. I'm not 100%, but I think they own Lotus. It might be Jaguar. I can't remember which. I honestly can't remember which. They own one of them anyway. I don't think Proton still own Lotus. But anyway, moving on. Speaking of cars, we'll talk about motorsport if you want, Alan.
Proton Holding.
So this is mine and Alan's.
This year has been absolutely amazing.
I think it's just been full of crybabies. It's been a fucking abysmal, mate. Absolutely abysmal. No, I'm not a Hamilton fan, as you know, Alan.
Yeah, I know.
I can't stand the whiny bastard, and I can't stand the Rosberg either. He's a poor man Schumacher.
Got that Dutch fella. He's been outstanding.
Oh, he's a breath of fresh. Him and Ricciardo are a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget Sergio Perez. That guy's a legend.
Perez is in the background though, not doing a lot. Yeah, he's the Dolph Ziggler of the F1 world.
He's just an angry.
He's just there and gets the odd bit of moment in the sunshine, but usually he's just in the background, jumping up and down, going, "Look at me! Look at me!"
Well, the races have been absolutely brilliant, but British touring car racing, oh my god, what a fantastic season that's turned out to be.
I didn't see much of it, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
I've not been a fan of touring cars since the Super 2000 days.
Yeah, they had a bit of a stink up. I can't remember which team it was with the apparently all motorsport. Well, all British touring car racing has a set spec on your car, same as any motorsport racing. You've got to have a certain spec. Certain things you're not allowed. Certain things you are allowed. They were pulled up about their spoiler. Now, these two cars of this team, I can't remember top of my head what team it was, were pretty much winning every race, and everyone was sitting there going, how the hell are they doing this? And they found out the spoiler was sat on the wrong place on the car. It was sat, I think it was something like 2 millimeters too low. Right? Apparently it made all the difference, but aerodynamics for you.
Well, if it's lower to the car, it means it will have a better slipstream effect, which means it can go faster in a straight line.
Exactly. But yeah, so there was that. But the thing is, they had exactly the same modification to that car the previous year. So instead of going, they should be kicked out, all this stuff, all that, the second race of, I think it was at Brands Hatch. So the second race, they went, well, you're going to be starting at the back of the pack. But they're going, but it's reversal anyway. So they're going, well, you can't start at the back of the pack. Oh, by the way, we've just, you've got to have the same amount of petrol and all that you would have done in the first race. So the car's heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, there was a massive stink up. All the other teams were going, no, they should be disqualified for the season and all this stuff. So that was been playing on the mind. Jason Plato's gone on Twitter and gone absolutely batshit crazy about it.
As he always does.
I mean, he went absolutely batshit crazy. He said, this is bullshit. This shouldn't happen. At the end of the day, we're all here to be competing. We should be an equal, well, not an equal car, but equal...
equal playing field.
An equal playing field, says, and all this stuff. So, following race later was at Silverstone, and once again this all cropped up about the car and all that. So they got ridiculed again to make sure there was nothing wrong. They found out Jason Plato's car had a few minor infractions, and he was disqualified from the race.
Whoops.
So he opened his gob and got down.
Yeah, you slack us off. Fuck you. We'll find something on you.
But it's just motorsports this year. She's been absolutely fantastic.
The WEC has been fucking amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching World Truck Racing. No, I've never been a fan of trucks. They're pointless, big. Why the hell would you throw them around the corner? No, I saw a truck do a backflip. It rear-ended another truck, and it did a backflip. I was there going, that is unbelievable. I have got to watch this.
But for me, though, the future at the minute is the World Endurance Championships. I mean, every single manufacturer wants to be part of it now. And BMW's coming back. Okay, they're not prototypes, but they're coming back in GT, and that means you're either going to have like an M3 or M4 or a Z4 on the grid next year, and you've already got like 4 GTs back in it.
Yeah.
Have you seen them, Alan?
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, it's basically a prototype in a shell. It really is. Darren, you need to owe yourself to watch some motor racing.
Yeah.
Generally so you can pervert the cars.
Pretty
I've
much.
not watched motor racing since Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher. That's the only two I know.
Fucking hell.
That's a fair few years ago. That was late 2000s.
Not even that. It was before then. Damon Hill retired in 1999. So
98, 99.
If you guys get chance, BBC Two showed Chris
Hoy.
Chris Hoy's 200 miles an hour at Le Mans. If you don't know who Chris Hoy is, basically he was a World Championship cyclist. He won gold at the London. But he always had a fascination with motorsports. He teamed up with Nissan and basically says, right, we'll give you your endurance training and all that. So he went through his training and all that, did all that, got a team together, and he entered Le Mans.
Was it in LMP2, wasn't it?
Yeah, he entered in Le Mans.
Yeah, it was in LMP2, but he does full time because that was a guest entry at Le Mans. He does full time. He does LMP3 he does LMP3 Le Mans Euro Series.
Yeah, so it was absolutely. So I watched it last night. I tried message you, so you must have missed it or something.
I was asleep, mate.
But I'll say this now: it's on the BBC iPlayer. It's worth a watch. It's basically they followed him basically from the project to the race and everything in between. It's none of this. Oh, he did this, he did that, he did the other, he did everything. He goes, no. It was following through literally every fuck up to every win sort of thing. Anything that's gone right. Best quote from it. He just got into the second bout of the race in the car. The car's got a few minor hiccups. The sensor's gone on it. He had a Spanish driver. I can't remember his name, and he had to jump start the car while doing 200 odd miles an hour.
Yeah, this is typical sports cars.
Turn the engine on, reset the whole system. But there was quite a few cars that did that, if you remember rightly.
Yes.
Because there was a problem with the ECU units.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fair enough. Anyway, apparently got the measurements wrong in the seat for Chris Hoy. So it was completely fucked up. So he was actually hurting himself going around.
Yeah, what non-motorsport fans may not realise is that when you got a racing driver, they have the seat moulded to them. So they sit perfectly, like outstretched. So but if it's measured wrong, they're either crouched or stretching. Now, if you can imagine in sports cars, they're doing stints of up to 4 hours at the wheel.
And not only that, you've got to think about how lateral G's are going to affect your body. So if you're sat in a seat which is too big for you, you're going to get thrown around and you're going to get battered. And
if it's too small, it's just going to be the most uncomfortable thing known to man.
Yeah, you're liable to actually cause damage internally because your body's pushed against like a hard ridge. So anyway, but the quote of the whole entire show was brilliant by Chris Hoy's wife. Chris Hoy's sitting there, he's posing himself, he's getting ready to get into the seat, doing the second bout. And just like everyone's gone, right, is Chris ready? We'll get him in there, we'll start setting up and everything. Right, you've got 3/4 of a lap before he comes in, before you do change over. So it pans over to his wife's wife, says he's probably sitting there, he's focusing himself, he's getting everything ready, he's imaging how the course handles, his position is in, and all this stuff. And then then out of the blue, because I'm saying, God, they're taking this quite seriously. She turned around and goes, "Oh, he's absolutely shitting himself." He turned around and looks at him, looks at her, and he goes, "I go for the latter."
Well, if it's at Le Mans, the thing is,
fantastic.
Well, when you think about it, though, when you say quarter of a lap, 3/4 of a lap, normally on a normal racetrack, you're talking about a minute, aren't you? Something like that before the car comes. You don't really have time to think. But at Le Mans, the race, if you're racing in LMP2, I'd say it's about 3 minutes, 45 a lap. So if he's 3/4 of the way to go, he's got like 3 minutes to think about, shit, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. Rather than you just want to jump in the car and get your first lap under your belt.
Guaranteed that'll be the longest 3 minutes of his life.
Exactly. I think Le Mans, Le Sarthe is about 10 miles long, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, it's 10-2, I think.
10 miles to whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 10.2 miles. It's a long racetrack. It's like full pelt. I mean, they're doing 210 miles an hour at one point on the track. Good, about 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 times they're doing that, and it still takes them nearly 3.5 minutes to get round.
Yeah.
In the fastest cars. That shows you how long the racetrack is. And if you think about it, if that's your first race and you're going into that, it's your first time there, and you've got to sit there because you're not allowed to get onto the pits until the lap you're coming in, and you've got to stand there and wait for 3/4 of a lap. You might, how you keep not sight yourself out of it, I don't know, because it's the biggest stage. It's it's the sports car WrestleMania, if you will.
You'll see him. What's that actor called? He literally created his own team.
Patrick Dempsey. He's in the he's in the new what's it now? Fucking hell. It's in cinemas now. Chick flick.
Nope.
Bridget Jones's Diary. Bridget Jones's Diary. He's in that. He's in that.
So, if you
but he's also won Le Mans.
You watch him getting himself ready and everything like that. He'll sit there and put his headphones on. He'll sit there and being calm and collective. He'll gain himself. Whereas Chris Hoy was just pacing. He was looking around. He looked so out of place.
Yeah, if I was a gentleman driver and I was getting ready to go in, and bearing in mind the gentleman drivers in Pro-Am, which is the slowest group of GT cars that they have, you've got to have a pro driver and you've got to have an amateur. And if I was an amateur taking over from a pro driver, and bear in mind some of these pro drivers are people like Pedro Lamy, who's been in Formula One, right? You know. And you're taking, for example, you've got Pedro Lamy, and he's balls to the wall, dragging his Aston Martin left, right, and centre. And then you come in, and you get in the car, and within the first lap, you think, I must not break this car. I must not break this car. You know, can you imagine the wrath you would get off a guy that's, professionally competed at the highest level? Mm-hmm. All the effort he's put in for 4 hours, ragging this Aston Martin for 4 hours, and then binning it.
Yeah.
Within 15 minutes.
Ow.
Cough, cough, Paul Devellana a couple of years ago, if you remember, Alan.
Yeah.
Binned it in the last, 10 minutes?
Yeah. Sad.
Now, bear in mind, obviously, you can be classified in other forms of motorsport if you don't cross the finish line after the set time. But with it being a 24-hour race, your wheels have literally got to be turning up to the 24-hour mark for you to classify. So if you was in second place in the distance 3 laps ahead of the guy behind you, and you're 15 seconds from the finish, and you wrap it against the wall, you don't finish. You don't, even though you've covered a greater distance than the guy behind you, you don't finish.
Yeah.
So
I think that's it's the best ruling.
Yeah, so it's just one of them. But yeah, obviously, we're massive fans of motorsport, me and Alan, and you probably get a bit more here and there about motorsport again on this podcast, when races happen or big events. And on that note, I think we're going to have a short break. So here are a few messages from our friends.
Hey guys, Cox the Legend here from Lost Art Podcasting, reminding you to check out myself and Gareth's weekly podcast, Lost Art Podcasting. Essentially, it's a podcast where we talk about anything we feel like, including life in general, music, movies, and anything else in between. If you want to send us a topic in, you can do via our Facebook page, Lost Art Podcasting. You can also find us on Twitter and give us a follow at Lost Art Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Lost Art Podcasting. You can find us on YouTube, which is where we're going to have all our archive episodes. Mainly you can find us on Spreaker and also on iTunes for our latest episodes. If you want to keep up to date, make sure you subscribe. Give us a follow, give us a rate, anything like that. 5-star review would really help us out. But for now, it's back.
So, we're back. Anything you guys want to bring up today?
Well, as it's come to that time of season again, it's gaming season.
Of course it is, yeah.
Christmas.
The November launch is ready for Christmas. Yes, I remember that.
October and November launches. There's been quite a few big games coming out at the moment. I'll briefly introduce the gaming styles that we have. Darren likes his PS4 games.
Yep. Just Cause 3.
Paul's into his retro, and he will play both consoles. I'm Xbox One, Microsoft bitch, and I do a lot of PC gaming. So, with the amount of games that's coming out at the moment, there's been a lot of add-ons as well. So, starting off with Star Wars Battlefront, just released a DLC for the Death Star, which, by the way, is great fun.
I'll be honest, I've not played it. I'm not a massive. I'm going to probably alienate myself from a lot of people that I know. I am not a Star Wars fan.
You need to be shot. So that's the first plugin for the Star Wars. Yeah, they've got DLC was released 3 weeks ago. So if you're a Battlefront player, just highly recommend you get it downloaded or buy the season pass because it'll work out cheap in the long run. We've got the Rogue One film coming out, so they've done a DLC pack for that. So I'm looking forward to that when it comes out. Next game we've got Gears of War 4. Now, with the recent trend that seems to be happening, if you buy the deluxe glorious pack, whatever it is, Gears of War 4 and the people who make it have released it 2 weeks earlier for specific players. So if you're a hardcore fan of Gears of War 4, you're basically now playing it, or not listening to this whatsoever.
or playing it while listening to this.
Yeah. So Gears of War 4, it's following on the story with Marcus Phoenix, but you follow his son, which seems to be apparently nothing's happened on the planet for 20-odd years, and all of a sudden, bang, it's all kicked off. So new storyline, but they brought back classic Horde. Now, if anyone else is a Gears of War fan, I lost interest in Gears of War 2, but Gears of War 2 had one greatest thing, and that was the Horde mode. Basically, team up with 4 other people, and you take on wave after wave after wave of enemies. You build barricades, defense guns, full works. Great fun. It is really good fun. So that's worth looking out. I've seen a couple of trailers. I've seen a few gameplay videos knocking around. Looks good. Looks entertaining. Very, very pretty as always. So worth looking out. The next big one, 18th of October. Now, this is the biggest thing of the year, I would say, hands down. I was one of the privileged few that did the beta testing on it, and that's Battlefield 1. Now, if you've never heard of Battlefield series, basically it's similar to Call of Duty, but they bring in the whole, how would I put it, gun dynamics to everything. So you're a sniper player, you'll sit there and instead of shooting the person straight on, you got to think about the bullet drop, the wind, and everything like that.
Coriolis.
Yeah. So it makes it more challenging. So this is based in World War One. So all your weapons, all your clothing, all the different factions of armies that was involved is going to be in it. The land tank, as it was called then, and that's in it. So it's looking good. You're following I think it's a black ebony character. So you get the ridicule of the racism going through the army back then. Life of the trench warfare and all that. Multiplayer mode, it's crazy. It is absolutely fucking crazy. So that's worth looking out for. I think they're doing a special launch day for it, so worth picking up as well. Other games as well. New Final Fantasy is coming out. That looks absolutely stunning. So seen a couple of good gameplays going through with that, from Square Enix. So it's been quite nice to see. So, but this one's it's more based. It's not like turn-based Final Fantasy as we all remember it when we were younger. It's all now action play and all that. So
action RPG. I like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, exactly. It's made by the same guys as well.
Yeah. I'm honest with you, though. I'm going to hold my cash and I'm going to wait till Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out, and I know it's going to be in parts.
Yeah, downside. That's also a new trend that seems to be setting out with gaming is episodic.
Let's be fair, though. The original Final Fantasy VII could eat up whole fortnights of gameplay time.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to be completionist on it. Now, to expect them to get the size of Final Fantasy VII, now bear in mind, graphically, Yeah, well, graphically, it was not as... What's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't as intense, and there was no voice acting.
No. Well, the whole point was basically use the FMVs, feature-made videos. So in between, like, you doing your crazy missions, you'll have a video, and the video was stunning. But the actual gameplay, it was bog standard back in the day. It's like playing an MMO now.
Yeah.
Very, very similar sort of style.
Yeah, but like I say, the reason why I'm not actually surprised it's coming in parts is it's going to be voice acted. It's going to have all the other extra modern day features that you had. It's going to be action RPG sort of thing with a little bit of a mixture of the I can't remember, ATV system put in it. ATB, sorry, and it's not just a remake. It's a complete reimagining of the game, and it's massive, much bigger in scope.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, which is why I could understand it's getting broken up into bits. But once you've got every single game, it's going to be one complete game.
Yeah.
This is what people are missing. People are complaining, oh no, they've broken it up into different games. No, it's going to be one whole complete thing once you've got all the bits of the jigsaw together.
To be honest, if especially me, I like to download digitally, so it's saved to the hard drive. There's no disc involved whatsoever, which annoys the crap out of Paul, because Paul's retro gamer, so he likes a collection.
It fucking pisses me off when retro games get... When my games that I own end up online... I had a game, well, I've sold it now a few years ago, but I had a game called Gunstar Heroes for the Mega Drive.
Great game.
Boxed, mid-condition, with the manual.
Yeah.
Its value dropped by half as soon as it went on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And the same happened to Comic Zone.
Yep.
So, it proper irks me. Yes, I get why people are putting these games onto downloadable content. I mean, it's easier to get to. It's easier to access these classic games. If you didn't have this service, you'd have to fork out 70, 80, 90 pounds just to play it on the original system. But now you can play it from the comfort of a system that's always hooked up to your TV. You don't have to fuck about with leads. You don't have to fuck about with tuning the TV in. You don't have to fuck about with eBay trying to get the best deal. All you do is go on Xbox Live and go, oh, it's there for a £5.
Yeah.
And it's there, you've got it, you're playing, next thing you know, 2 minutes later, you're playing Gunstar Heroes rather than waiting 2-3 days for it to come through the post.
Yeah. So we're going to move on slightly. We've had the release of FIFA 2017, which Paul will be really happy about.
I know, I kind of enjoy football, don't get me wrong. Darren's a football guy, he likes his football games, but I'm the type of guy that will not pay £40, £50 a fucking year for a football game, which is essentially the same bastard game. I will wait.
Newcastle isn't in it. They're in the Championship.
Oh, they got the football leagues now out to League 2, mate. They've had that for the last about 12 years, mate.
Yeah. So
even Blackpool's in it, mate.
So FIFA 17's out. Same again. Everyone's kicking off saying, oh, it's more or less the same. But apparently they've changed around the dynamics and everything. But they do it every year, so there's no need to go in much detail about that.
Honestly, we'll tell you what I do, mate. I wait 12 months.
Well, I will say this now. About FIFA 17, I've not played it since 15. I've had it since 14. So I've played it, and the journey, I don't know if it was in here last year, but the journey, you're Alex Hunter.
Yeah, it's a new feature for this
start
year.
From the beginning. It's really good as well. I mean, to start off like that, and for me, it's more than a football game. It's like, you know, like when you're playing as someone, you get invested in them. So,
but tell you what,
everyone's got their own opinion about different games, and they all like different things. But
I've just You say I always play a year or two behind on the football games because I don't believe in paying £40-50 a year for the same fucking game. Now I've just paid £4 for Pro Evolution Soccer 2015.
Yeah.
Right? And it plays infinitely better than FIFA. Infinitely better than FIFA. It's a much better, more rounded game of football.
Yep.
You know, it's just better. I mean, I find it impossible to score on free kicks on FIFA, but I can do it on Pro Evo. But at the same time, I find it harder. I also find it harder to defend on Pro Evo. So it's more of a rounded game for me. Whereas FIFA, I can defend and I can just score whenever I like. And I've always found that way. Even on the easier settings on Pro Evo, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
You know, but you quite easy piss 13-14-0 on FIFA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's one of those games I lost interest in FIFA, 2002, 2003.
That's fair. But that's not your interest, though. That's the thing.
You've got now, coming out of there, different other games, you've got WWE 2K17.
Yeah, I'll be getting that tomorrow.
Yep.
You'll be able to tell us what it's like on the next one then? Next podcast?
No, I picked up 2K16 the other week.
So I've got that.
On Xbox Live.
You got it for free?
For free.
Nice.
So, and I'm not a massive fan. I prefer the old ones back in the early 2000s, SmackDown.
Yeah.
It was a lot easier. You had more freedom to do what you want to do.
It's more complex now. It's more of a sim, and it's not as a joy to play from even like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that you can't use your own music for your entrance musics anymore. You can't customise
Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Yeah, you can still do that. Last one I've got, which is was 2K14. You could do that on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got all my wrestling music on my Xbox 360 for that.
Yeah. So that's now out. What else was coming out? I think they were the big ones. Forza Horizon 2. Absolute stunning game. That was released about a month ago. If you're all Halo fans or anything like that on the Xbox One, you got a free downloadable pack to ride the UNSC Warthog from Halo, which is basically a big, massive 4x4 beast of a car. So that's pretty cool. The added twist to the game is you're able to modify it how you want. So you can design skins for cars, as most people know about Forza, but you can also do modification on the car itself. So there's what was that Fiat 500, and someone turned it into a Domino's delivery car, and you can add pizza boxes in the passenger seat and everything. So it was cool. So they're introducing to anyone who does like modified gaming. So like if you're a PC fan, so you'll be able to do like Skyrim and stuff like that. You can modify stuff on there. Same principle, but it's a little shorter ones. So it's pretty good. So go on. Yeah, the whole premise of the game is you're in Australia, you're entering a racing competition. It's like a big, massive festival, and the map is huge. Now, if anyone has played Horizon before, in the earlier series on 360 or the Xbox One when it first came out, it was big. It was a big game. This thing is 3 times the size. It is huge. A lot of free roaming. Go and find hidden packages, hidden cars. The full works. This map's massive. So there'll be a lot of time and effort going into the game as well. So you're looking at 100 hour plus. So it's a big game. It's a big game. So
nothing wrong with that. Speaking of Skyrim, the remaster's out at the end of this month.
No interest.
Yeah, but I will get it because I've got unfinished business on that game because I only played probably half the content on it. I completed the story, but I didn't complete half of what I wanted to do. Yeah. And I didn't get any of the DLC, which is what you do get with the remaster.
Yeah. 28th of October is out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But see what is also snuck out under the noses of people, and I've never even known. The complete edition of Metal Gear Solid 5 is coming out this month.
Oh, that didn't snuck out. That was announced when they did the last Metal Gear Solid game.
What, the complete edition with everything all in one?
Yeah.
The first I heard of that was last week.
No, they announced it yonks ago.
They
announced it on E3.
I must have missed that.
So there you go. That's another good game worth getting. Metal Gear Solid 2. God, I'll batter that. Changing it slightly for all the PC gamers and MMO fans. World of Tanks currently have a festival, the Halloween festival on. So there's a lot of cool packages available to buy. They've released. If you didn't know this, they've released a comic for the game itself. So you follow a whole lot of tank crews sort of thing. You can now buy the tanks from the comics into the game, so you can ride around in Luther's Panther and other such vehicles, which is pretty cool because it's. I was playing earlier on today, and there's a guy driving past me in this tank that was decked out like nobody's business, camouflage nets all over it and everything. I thought, how the hell can I get one of them, and how much is it going to cost me? So it was pretty cool to see. Same again, sticking with wargaming. World of Warships, they've released the Stalingrad class destroyer premium again. I think it's 20 quid for it. That's pretty cool to see. Worth looking up the video for that. What else? Oh, Star Trek Online. That's finally made an appearance on the Xbox One and PS4. Glitchy to fuck, but it's free.
Yeah, very. It took me 10 minutes to get to open the phaser, to open to get a phaser the other day. 10 minutes. I was this close to throw my pad at the wall. I was like, oh.
Yeah, basically they've just gone, right, what's the coding for the PC version? Right, pick it up and just throw it on the Xbox One or PS4. Still a good game. You still got your three factions, which is your Klingon, Romulans, and Federation. All the missions that were on the PC version is all on the Xbox One, so you don't have to buy or download the content for it. So that's pretty cool. That's worth looking out for. Loads of good indie games knocking around as well at the moment, being it's Christmas coming up, so they'll be kicking them out left, right, and centre. So that's pretty much it for the gaming world side of things.
Yeah, that's pretty much covered the lot, hasn't it, really? Yeah. So, right.
One more thing. Halo tournament starts in January, was announced earlier on this week.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's worth watching. Because they're usually pretty cool and pretty lethal.
Is that on that gaming channel that's on Sky Sports?
Yeah, there's loads. That you can watch
is it Bix TV or something like that? I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Yeah,
there's actually a competitive gaming channel. If you go onto the sports section of Sky Sports and go all the way to the bottom, there's a there's a channel just dedicated to competitive gaming.
Yep.
And it's actually quite good.
I know, because I can stream it through the Xbox.
When I was watching Counter-Strike Go match, and it was brilliant. You know, you could actually pick up tips the way they were playing as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm an avid first-person shooter gamer. I really enjoy it. I always will play, just not the new COD. And didn't plug that in because it's Battlefield 1, so it's far superior compared to COD at the moment. I know I consider myself good. I know, well, it sounds like blowing my own trumpet. I am good at the game. But compared to half these so-called professional gamers, I may as well be 2 years old mashing the joystick. They are absolutely bonkers.
It's like me picking up a Street Fighter pad and going up against Dago.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you just look at me funny and just wipe me out in 30 seconds flat. Yeah. You know, it's one of these. That's how good they are.
Yeah. BBC not so long ago did a documentary on professional gaming, and you think going into a professional sport is stressful. It's a whole new level. If you were good. Say you're absolutely brilliant at the game.
Yeah.
And, you're top of prime of your gaming, and you start losing, the knack. They'll kick you out straight away. There's no leeway. Oh, he's having a bad couple of days. No. If you're having a bad couple of days, you're gone. You have got to be on the game, on the ball, 24/7. So it's
more so in Korea because the top gamers are celebrities.
Yeah,
in Korea,
and the prize money's ridiculous now.
It's like $250,000 just for one tournament. It's ridiculous. It's a legit sport now.
Yeah, it is. It's like that's crazy. It's crazy. So fat people can be sportsmen,
and not just playing darts.
So,
and on that note, I think we'll move on to the final section of the show, which is the listener questions. Well, obviously we've not got any listeners yet, but I did leave on social media a post for people to leave us their thoughts and questions for us to talk about on the show. Now people have been quite generous, and we've got a few suggestions. We'll start off one which is very, from somebody very close to home on the podcast. Darren left a suggestion. So we'll start with yours first, and it was catchphrases that we use a lot, and we don't know why. We don't even think about using them, but we do. I'll start with Darren first, seeing as he came up with the topic.
Well, being a big Doctor Who fan, I'm always saying allons-y or speaking French a lot, but then saying other things like that. I keep going around and scaring people and saying, "No, are you my mummy? Are you my mummy?" Which, to Doctor Who fans, they're going to be like, "Ah."
I was going to say, as long as you don't do that dressed as a fucking clown, it'll be fine.
No, basically, it's a little kid, about 7 or 8, dressed in war gear with a gas mask on.
Fantastic.
And the story is that the gas mask would come out their mouth, and the gas mask would be your whole face. And that was... Anyway.
Yeah, that's Doctor Who.
That's why I say it a lot. But it's just
something you picked up on.
Fan, big wrestling fan as well. I keep saying every time it's woo, and then being Ric Flair, and
every wrestling fan does that. Every wrestling fan does that.
And here's another thing I've done recently, and this is not just a catchphrase, but it's the moves. I think I've done my backing because I keep doing too many Shanikas, Nakamura's, entrances. I just keep going, bending down. Every time I'll just fuck my back up or something. Anyway, they're my catchphrases at the moment.
What about you, Alan?
Well, don't really have any. Not really, no.
Fair enough.
No, well, I'm trying to think. There's a couple of things I will say, like, that's the bottom line. That seems to be the big one at work. Or your mum. Your mum.
Mum.
But back in the day, you used catchphrases. Everyone knew it was me. So you used to say epic a lot. Or that's just epic. Or that's great. Or boom. But I've got nipped in the bud about that, so I stopped it. But it's at the moment it's treacle at work. I call everyone treacle. Bloke, woman, half a bloke. Not too sure what it is. It's called treacle.
Fair play.
That tends to be quite funny. But any quotes from filmage, if the situation suits it, I'll plug it in. I'm quite known for my wittiness. And so it's quite a few that you always go back to. There's like, at the moment, I'm a massive Rick and Morty fan. So Swifty gets used a lot. That's just Swifty. So it's good. There's irritating ones, especially Hammonds doing that. Is it the dab?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, what's all that about? Hey, mate, are you doing the dab or are you just smelling your armpit? Seriously, it's like, what the fuck? And another one which it seems to spread. If anyone watches or follows Dapper Laughs, anyone?
Yeah, I've seen a few videos.
Yeah, Dapper Laughs. He's got one called Wagwan. It's like, you're not black. You can't use that. You're not Jamaican. Why the fuck are you using it? It's infuriating when people start copying.
Yeah, Wagwan. Yeah, it does annoy me. I've just said it.
Yeah, so it's just like, right, okay. So, moral of this: smelling armpits is bad. Shouting Wagwan in a black community and you're white is very, very bad. And don't pretend to be black, because if you're in America, you'll get shot.
Ooh, controversial. I like it. I don't really tend to have many catchphrases. I have the one that I've pitched off Dave Ray when something goes my way. I always end for some reason going #boom. But the only one I seem to do is...
That is it.
Yeah, pretty much. The only other one that I tend to do is... like every now and again, I'll do like the Cleveland sort of thing. Darren knows what I mean.
You've got to do it.
I will do it, but I don't know why I do it. But it's when something it's like when something goes in slow motion, it going wrong. And I always do it in the Cleveland voice, and I don't know why. It's like the other scene in Family Guy where he's sliding out the back when the front of his house is gone.
Now.
It's like, no. So that's I tend to do that. But other than that, I don't really have I don't really have a catchphrase that I tend to pinch.
Yeah.
Not really, apart from at the minute the Kimi Räikkönen wow sort of thing.
Another one is everything Peter Kay. You know, when you always see Peter Kay stuff, just everyone knows it. So we all always doing Peter Kay things, and like garlic bread or cheesecake. Everyone's always doing it, and it's just like, yeah.
It's less and less now though, because it gets older and older. Other stuff tends to come in, doesn't it? But yeah, I get what you mean. We'll move on from that anyway. We'll move on to... There's 3 suggestions from our friend Adam Cox, who does the Lost Art of Odd podcasting podcast. You can find him, like I said, we'll plug him now while we're talking about him. It's the you can find him on Facebook at the at Lost Art of Podcasting. You'll find him on Spreaker, iTunes. I think you can find him on Stitcher as well. It's a Lost Art of Podcasting. There's an advert anyway before this point. Anyway, I'll explain it all. So, but yeah, he asks us what our favourite hot sauces are. I thought that you start with that one, Alan, because you're the connoisseur of hot sauce.
This just sounds so wrong. Nando's flaming extra hot sauce.
That's fucking spectacular, I will agree.
That's absolutely amazing.
I'm going to have to concur on that one. That is fucking phenomenal.
Don't mind a bit of Tabasco sauce every now and again, but if someone went to me, what hot sauce do you want for Christmas? I end up saying that.
Now, I can't remember this hot sauce that I had. Can't remember the fucking name of it. Coxie knows it. He's told me it. I remembered it, and then I forgot it. It had 70% ghost pepper in it.
Ouch.
And it was fucking lovely. I used to do saucepans of chili, and I put 3 drops of it in, and it was more than enough.
Fair enough.
So it was. I'd put that down as my favourite hot sauce. But because I won 3 bottles of it, I've got to say the what's the fucking firm called? I won a 3 bottles of sauce from is it Enconda or something like that? And I won it 3 bottles on Facebook, so by default they're my favourite.
Well, can I say what my favourite is? Is HP sauce. Brown sauce. Hot sauce. That's hot. That's too hot for me. I can't do. I don't do hot sauce.
Oh, do you know what my favourite hot sauce is? Tomato ketchup.
Oh no, tomato ketchup's not that hot.
Oh God.
HP brown sauce.
Oh dear. Next one, he's asked Family Guy or American Dad.
American Dad.
See, I've got to say Family Guy because I've not actually seen that many episodes of American Dad. I have seen American Dad, but they're probably not enough to formulate an opinion on them. But Family Guy I've seen quite a bit of, so I can say that I do like Family Guy, so I'm going to have to say Family Guy on that matter.
American Dad, hands down. It's just so much funnier. And not every day you can go, shit, there's an alien on the TV.
I do that every time Blackpool's on the news.
I like American Dad. I do. I've watched quite a few episodes of it recently. Like they did the Back to the Future one.
Yeah, that's great. That episode.
Nice.
Stan Smith was hilarious because he didn't know what Back to the Future was, and he kept on setting up lines for it and saying he won this. And his son's going.
Hang on, the premise. The premise of the storyline on that. Stan Smith owns a DeLorean, and it's just missing a car door. So him and his son go for a road trip to the middle of the desert. To go and pick up this car door, and his son's a bit of a geek, and they don't bond that well. So it's basically showing the bonding process between them both, and all the antics that happened. Anyway, so the end of the story is they find the door. Yeah, but I'm not going to spread it anymore because I don't want to ruin it for spoilers.
Yeah.
But my favourite American Dad episode is Stan Smith goes to heaven to prove proves he's he can get into heaven, or he gets sent back down to hell, or if he comes back alive. And he has to go and save his family from being frozen. And basically, the best part of it, God and Jesus are douchebags, are absolute knob jockeys, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely freaking hilarious. Best episode ever.
So not Virgin, then American Dad.
American Dad, the way forward.
But through majority vote, we have to say Family Guy.
American Dad.
Yeah, Family Guy.
American Dad.
So we'll have to say majority vote says Family Guy, Coxie. But he leaves us an absolute belter of a final suggestion. Best pound shop finds. Best pound shop finds. Yes, that was on Facebook today, wasn't it? There's an actual Poundland that are actually selling a bullet vibrator for £1.
So you can get your rocks off for a quid.
Why not? Yeah.
Well, talking of that, pregnancy tests, you can get them. You can get like 4 for £1. Honest to God, there's like a pack. We've seen it before.
I know it's not Poundland, but you can actually get DNA tests from Home Bargains.
Wow!
You can actually buy a DNA test. But I think it's 15. I think for about 15 quid, you can buy a DNA test.
That's too much money.
That's way too much. That's not a quid. That's not a quid.
I just want to know if I'm related to the dog or something. There's something stupid. You didn't want to find out. She said, "How do you know?" Right, I want to know this DNA testing. How do you know? How? What? Anyway, pound shop finds.
Yeah.
I would probably say Simon Pegg's one of his books. I bought it for £1 a few years ago, and it was a really good read. Simon Pegg.
Oh, fair dude. That's not bad. What about you, Alan?
Well, I've had a few good buys from there. Sunglasses. I've still got them. They're decent. The three for £1 on cans of Coke and Lucasade. They tend to be quite good. But no, that's about it, really.
See, I've got a couple I can really go into. Ones that I have had recently is there's a couple of DVDs that I've managed to find, and one of them was the special collector's edition of Die Hard 2, which has it's a 2-disc edition with 90 minutes extra footage stuff of like stuff from 1, 2, and 3, behind the scenes stuff. unseen before.
All right.
Nice.
And that was brand new. It wasn't new. Normally you get the DVDs from Poundland, which are from Replay, which come from Magpie. They come from Magpie, they then go into Poundland. But this one wasn't. It was brand new. Didn't have the Replay sticker. The one that I did find that had a Replay sticker, in fact I found two with Replay stickers actually, so there's actually 4 things that I remember. I found The Wrestler for £1, the film The Wrestler.
Yeah.
So that wasn't bad. And I also managed to find the other day, and I found it in another pound shop in Squires Gate, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
For £1. So you can't go fault the DVDs. I mean, seriously, you might think, the old stereotype for pound DVDs, you're talking stuff like fucking Driller Killer, or something like, I killed my mother with a Hoover, or something stupid like that. But,
we have steam trains.
Yeah, steam trains, yeah. Yeah, documentary about steam trains, £1. But, the best thing that I've ever got from a pound shop, and I shit you not, by the way, do you remember when Guitar Hero came out? I think Guitar Hero World Tour, so that would be like the first one, which had the full band, the drums and the microphone and the guitar.
Yeah.
Poundland somehow managed to get their hands on a rechargeable battery, which was official from Activision.
Oh, wow.
Guitar Hero branded battery pack that you put in your guitar. Now, you charged it up via USB port, but if you were savvy like I was, at the time you could get, remember the old fat USB connection you used to get in mobile phones, not the mini ones that we've got now, the one that's slightly fatter,
Yeah.
like the PS3 pads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you were savvy, you could plug it into the wall and charge it via the mains. So
Like
you could,
with my controllers.
yes. So I did that. I bought 3 of them and charged them up via the mains. I also bought another 7 for £1. Now, they were retailing at Game at the time for £15 a pop. At
Wow.
Game. So I was selling them on eBay for a tenner.
Yeah.
So I paid £1, and I was getting £10 back for each one. So I can officially say that is my best Poundland buy. That's going back like 8 years now. But that was a cracking find. I've never ever been signed anything to beat that. Ever. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And that was one in Preston. That was one in Preston in Fishergate that I found that in. I just thought, I'll just take the whole box. What was left, so I took them. And I paid a tenner for these battery packs.
Yeah.
So I made 60 quid on them. So I'm not going to whinge. We'll move on then from there. Peter Blackham has asked us, this will be a good one. What would the world be like in 4 years if Trump wins and serves a term? So if Donald Trump gets the presidency next month,
World War III?
Well, I was about to say, somewhere in the Middle East is going to get turned into a crater. That I can guarantee.
The
Yeah,
WWE network has to be compulsory viewing for every member of the staff because he's in the Hall of Fame and he wants to keep it going for Vince.
Yeah, make Vince vice president.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
North Korea will end up blowing the shit out of everything. Russia will sit there going, for fuck's sake, and send 500 ton of nukes over. You have no America left.
There'll be nothing. There won't be much left. I'll be honest with you on this one. I think they are both cretins, both Hillary and Trump. They're both as dirty as each other. The only thing about Trump, he is a fucking psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is a fucking lunatic.
Hillary Clinton will win it because it's a popularity contest.
I compare it to a slot machine which gives you sexually transmitted diseases, and it's Which sexual transmitted disease would you rather have? Would you rather have full-blown AIDS or just herpes? That's the way I consider it.
No, you've got to think of it like this, right? The only reason Barack Obama got into the White House was because he was black, because they've never had it before. So everyone's gone, ooh, that would be cool.
So you're saying that Obama got the presidency through being for novelty reasons?
Yeah, same as this one. It's a publicity. It's you got to think of it. It's a contest. It's
well, the same party, so I suppose that would hold some argument.
Yeah. So Hillary Clinton's going to win this because she's a woman. They've never had a woman president.
If you're going for the novelty factor, possibly. But at the same time,
Barack Obama has turned out to be one of the best presidents they've had in a long time.
That's an opinion-based thing, though. We're not in a position to really say anything because A, we probably don't have the knowledge, and B, we're not the nationality that they're in charge of. But outside looking in, he does seem to have settled the boat a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
He sorted out the mess Bush left him. He got rid of what's his name? Bin Laden.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also has now put in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights about gun law. He's getting that sorted. He's introduced a free health service to the less fortunate. Right? He's now
Obamacare.
He now has befriended a whole lot of people that you would never thought they would be friends with America. Cuba. He went over to Cuba. He's the first president in the 1950s.
Yeah.
So he's done a hell of a lot.
He's built a lot of bridges. What you're basically trying to say.
And he's cut down the what's what I'm looking for? The recession, the American recession. He sorted all that out. So
there's still a lot of mess though to be cleared up, which he hasn't got round to doing though. Yeah, which, in my opinion,
like that takes time. He's got to. He cannot physically go right. We're doing this. That's it.
But
it's got to go through a vote. Remember, it's democratic society. He's got to go through a vote. It's got to go through the constitutional rights cabinet. He's got to go through court hearings in Washington and all that. He's got to get it so everyone agrees to it.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, going back to the question. He did say, what would we think, what would happen, what the world would be like in 4 years if Trump wins and serves a term. I do think that he may serve another term because, saying that, I don't know. It's all speculation, isn't it? I think if he gets into office, they will be at war within 4 years. With somebody.
Yeah.
Say, I think whole of America are going to have perfect vision in 4 years' time.
Oh, dear me.
What?
You have to explain that one then.
Well, it'd be 2020, won't it?
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, moving on after that. Oh, ugh, I got a horrible taste in my mouth. Ketchup or brown sauce on bacon butties?
Brown sauce.
Brown sauce all the way.
Ketchup.
No, there's not even a debate. It's not even a debate.
Ketchup.
How can you justify ketchup on bacon?
Ketchup. Easy. I don't do spicy things.
Brown sauce isn't spicy.
It's fruity.
No, it isn't.
It's fruity.
It's fruity.
To me, it's like spicy. That's the spice. I don't do spicy stuff or fruity stuff. So,
well, technically, pepper's a fruit, isn't it? So
you don't do ketchup.
I do ketchup.
Fruit.
Technically a fruit.
I think I've just won that one. Thank you very much.
We'll move on to the next one because there's no real argument there. This is a good one. Movies that should... This is the last question, just for tonight. It is movies that should never be remade. And he mentions Back to the Future. So Back to the Future, he says that shouldn't be remade.
Yeah.
The Breakfast Club should never be remade. Breakfast Club never should be remade.
Trying to think. Ghostbusters.
Yes. Yeah, that should never have been touched. That should never. See, on one film that shouldn't have been touched, and I almost went home and snapped the disc in half. That I heard of the original film was fucking Total Recall.
Oh,
they should not have touched that. They ruined it. Absolutely.
No, I quite liked it.
What they did is they grabbed that film by the scruff of its neck in the middle of the night, dragged it out of bed, dragged it down the stairs, bounced its head off every single step on the way out, threw it through its front door, kicked it so it was unconscious, and then decided to take a massive shit on its face. That's what they did to Total Recall when they made that remake.
See, I liked it.
It was horrible.
If they didn't name it Total Recall, it would have been a cracking film.
But that was the problem. They used the characters. They used the name. They were deliberately...
I liked it.
Yeah, but they deliberately linked the film to the old one and said, this is the reimagining of said film. And they took a giant shit on it. I mean, look at the... Well, I've not actually seen the new RoboCop remake.
Here we go on this one. Right? RoboCop, first one, brilliant. Blood, gore, and everything. It's basically went, PG-R rated. Let's just dumb it down a bit. If it wasn't called RoboCop, and it wasn't called RoboCop, and it had nothing to do with the whole RoboCop series, it would have been a good standalone film. There is a few cracking scenes in the new RoboCop films that is absolutely out of this world and brilliant and worth watching.
See,
just
some
those scenes.
But the problem is with some films, it's so sacred you shouldn't touch it. The likes of Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, things like that shouldn't be touched. It's the same in gaming.
Yeah, definitely. What about Fight Club? That was a intense shocker of a movie.
That won't get remade.
You think? I don't think it should. Oh. You've got The Matrix. The Matrix was, when it first came out, for me, was one of the best movies I've seen.
There's a couple of films that I could see getting remade, and I really hope they don't. Because it would defecate on them. Really would, I think. And that's the original Terminator.
No.
The original Terminator. They should not touch that.
It won't get touched because they can't.
Why not?
This has got a 100-year thingy on it. Copyright.
That doesn't stop the same company using the name and making a remake.
Can't rebrand it. They can't remake it. There's a copyright thingy on it. They cannot touch it for 100 years.
I think that's pretty much the same as Back to the Future. What they're doing with Back to the Future. Okay. What about E.T.?
I'd like to see an updated version of that. That would be pretty good, especially in today's graphics.
Yeah, that's one that could possibly work. That could possibly work. I'll tell you one that I don't want to touch again. Well, I don't want to touch full stop. Demolition Man.
No, yes.
Do not touch.
No.
Running Man.
Running Man could do with being remade. I actually do think that could be doing with being remade to modern standards. That would be a cracking film.
Demolition Man is, for me, one of good movies. It is. Really do like it.
Yeah, it's a top-notch film. It's up there with one of my favourite films. Like I say, another film they should never remake is Rocky. Now, they can't remake Rocky.
No.
They'll never remake Rocky. It's one of them they should never touch because Stallone made that film. Do you know what I mean? Stallone made that film. If you took Stallone out of that film, it's not the same film.
No. Yes.
Not by any stretch. Not by any stretch of the imagination. The fact that they've kind of made a remake.
Creed. Is it
Creed? Yeah, they kind of made a remake, but they kind of made a remake, but they've cast another character, and Rocky's still in it. so it's not technically a remake.
No.
But it's sort of like, he's managing another upcoming. It's like, tell you what it is. It's Rocky 5 done right. It's Rocky 5 amended. That is what that film is when I think back. It really is. I'm just trying to think if there's any more films that possibly should not be remade. I'm really struggling, ones that are holier than thou.
Hang on, I'll just ask one of the experts. Dear wife, films that should never be remade. Italian Job.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It already did, though.
Yeah, no, they didn't remake it, though. It was an extension. Get Carter.
Mm.
Oh, what's that film? I can't remember. The Crazies. The remake was dire. You should have never touched that.
The Goonies. That can't be touched.
You can't remake The Goonies.
You can't remake The Goonies. No, don't touch The Goonies. That's just sacred. That is beyond sacred. Yeah.
Saying
Goonies,
that, they did say that with Star Trek. Oh, they can't remake Star Trek. They can't remake Star Trek. But by God, did they make it work?
This is it, though. Just because the remakes of it doesn't automatically mean it's a bad thing. I mean, look at the Star Trek franchise, and before it was remade, there were some good films in there, but there were some absolute fucking stinkers as well.
Yeah, that's the curse of the odd films.
Yeah,
so, like 1, 3, 5, and 7 were all dire.
But like I say, it means that could it be? It gave him room to manoeuvre for the remake, because all the films weren't great. Some were shite, so it gave it a bit of room to manoeuvre in the remake sort of. So for standard sort of thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of gave it a bit of leeway. Just trying to think of a series of films, but there isn't really. Apart from Rocky, that it should leave well alone. Do you know what I'd love to see? Another a Death Wish. Death Wish song, a film.
No, you're alright.
Just remade, just for shit. So even if it was just straight to DVD Poundland, and then we can discuss it as a Poundland Vine, And on that kind of a bombshell, I think it's time to end the show.
Just want to do a quick shout out. Right, if anyone's a massive Games Workshop Warhammer 40,000 fan, if you don't know what that is, Google it. It's basically tabletop wargaming with plastic models as such. Anyone who is an avid fan, you've already heard this, but in the Games Workshop Warhammer 40,000 community worldwide has gone berserk. And when we want to say berserk, Games Workshop's announced a new model that's just come out. The Thousand Sons Magnus the Red Demon Primarch of Tzeentch. Now, if anyone knows the Horus Heresy, that Magnus the Red is a Primarch of the Thousand Sons, which turned bad. This is the first time Games Workshop in the coming on 40-year history, they've released a Primarch in a plastic form. Right? Normally, their sister company, Forge World, does all the nice resin models and all that. But this thing is huge because it's never been done before and it's massive. The model is huge. So, looking forward to seeing that. Looking forward to seeing the new models they've got coming out as well to go with it. I know a lot of people are not interested in that sort of thing. So, I just thought I'd quickly plug that one in.
But the thing is, we may get listeners that are, which is why, for me, this format of podcasting is the future, because it's a little bit for everybody. And that's what I wanted. It's an open forum for whatever people want to get off their chest. And I feel I've had a great time this evening doing this podcast, and I'm looking forward to doing more. It's just nice not to be pigeonholed into a particular subject, and let's talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick few plugs while we're here. Obviously, let's catch the Lost Art of Podcasting. You can find them on Facebook, find them on Spotify, not Spotify, Spreaker. You can find them on iTunes, Stitcher, most of the good podcasting websites. You can find them on Facebook, obviously www.facebook.com/Lost Art of Podcasting. You can find, also check our sponsor, who also sponsor the PCW Prediction League, Avant-Garde Security. You find their website at www.avantgarde-security.co.uk. Obviously, you can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ now this is the important bit, UK RAD Podcast, and on Twitter at UK RAD Podcast. Any more plugs you guys want to do?
I'd just like to talk about, it's been a big wrestling fan. There's a show in Birkenhead on November 27th.
Is this One Ring to Rule Them All?
It certainly is, and what I've been looking at their page, some of the people that are going to it, there's quite a few good ones so far. They've got Chris Ridgway, Bubba Gum there, T-Bone, Keith Meyer, Lana Austin. And that's only a few of them so far.
They've got Sparks Williams there as well, haven't they?
So I've been believed.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, if you want to find out about them, you just go on to Facebook and you can find out through Mystery Island.
Just search for them, you'll find them. Mystery Island Wrestling.
And Wrestle Island and One Ring to Rule Them All. So some good stuff that's been coming out from them. And they're big, massive fans themselves, so it's always good to see someone that's a big, massive fan of something and they're pursuing their dream.
Yeah, they've got a passion for it. They've also got podcasts, haven't they? So you can find it on Spreaker.
Yes.
The Mystery Island Podcast.
Yes.
It's a wrestling podcast. It's, talks about the latest news in wrestling and a lot of the local indie stuff as well, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah, they've also got a really, semi-infamous interview with Will Ospreay on there as well, haven't they? So it's worth checking out just for that alone, but they've got a great podcast as well.
It's really good. I mean, the shows that they do, it's their first show, but they're mainly at the moment doing photo opportunities, and so far they've had some really good ones.
Yeah, it's who's who of British and international wrestling, basically, that they get there. So if you're a British wrestling fan or just a wrestling fan in general, you owe it yourself to get your arses over to Birkenhead and support the show, basically. So yeah, get your arses over there and show David Anderson and friends a bit of support.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we'll call it a night. Thank you for listening. My name's Paul, the Hat Guy Flinders.
I'm Al Morrison.
My name was Darren.
And just remember, there are many podcasts out there, but not that many of them are rad. Thank you for listening. Thank you, and good night.
Good night, guys.